Well, libraries across the country have been marking South African Library Week, a celebration of our intellectual and literacy heritage. Now, libraries use this week to market their services to users in an effort to contribute to the understanding of the role they play in a democratic society, advancing literacy, making the basic human right of freedom to access to information a reality, and to promote tolerance and respect among all South Africans. Well, Segametsi Molawa is the president of the Library and Information Association of South Africa. She is also the director of Library and Information Sciences at the Human Sciences Research Council. She joins us now from our Pretoria studios. Good afternoon, ma'am, and thank you so much for your time on the SABC News Desk.
Good afternoon, Kashni and the listeners. Thank you for having me.
Hashtag Libraries for Lifelong Learning. What's the rationale behind this year's theme?
The library and information services sector through Library and Information Association of South Africa are having a vision of having an educated and a well-informed nation in South Africa. So putting this theme in place, the main focus was to have education and training that is pursued throughout life, at all stages of life, having education continuing, because the need for information is very critical in development.
Libraries are usually seen as a place to find books or carry out school and university projects, but they do play a much wider, a much more vital role in society. What contribution do our public libraries make in alleviating poverty? And can you elaborate on the role of libraries in realizing even our sustainable development goals? Because they do have a role to play there, and a crucial one at that.
Yes, libraries are a critical component of knowledge. In fact, when we look at the development, general development in the country, the libraries are there, embedded in there. Initially, we used to have the economy of the country based on agriculture, based on services, but currently we are having development based on knowledge. So libraries are playing a major role there. So looking at public libraries, they are serving the community, and the community consists of different levels. We are having children, we are having young people, we are having people in various careers, in their different jobs, and we are having elderly people. So public libraries are core, that they are serving all these various levels of people. They are serving the different interests. Unlike other sectors that are focusing on specific interests. So what challenges the public library is that all these people need to have information from the public library. So looking at the skills that need to, or that are changing all the time, the library must be there to cater for such.
When it comes to how our libraries are being used, what's the overarching trend that you're observing? Are public libraries being used as much as we like, and are they being used more as a study space rather than for leisure reading?
When I look at public libraries, the background, the historical background of these libraries influence the use that we are having. The library or communities that have been having libraries long before are reading for leisure. They are able to come and search for libraries. They are well established. But the communities that have not been having libraries, I hope the history of our country is very clear that the imbalances of the past impacted other communities not to have libraries, and they never could associate libraries as a space where to sit and read for leisure. So they use the library as a place to do academic studies, and at times there's no space to even study at home. So it is a very conducive space to do that. So I can comfortably say most of our public libraries are used for academic purposes.
When it comes to communities, more especially our rural communities, what are the general perceptions of libraries in these communities where they remain the main source of information? We do know that the public internet access is being implemented in our rural libraries, or rather some of them, where there was no form of network infrastructure. How are we doing when it comes to bridging that digital divide and enhancing our computer literacy skills in these areas?
Fortunate enough, the sector had a survey done some few years ago when a charter a charter was being developed for the sector, transformation charter. So communities like those did raise issues that now libraries are coming in our communities, but they don't have the material that address our needs. And they're not talking to our culture, they're not talking, others are not even in our languages. So such issues were looked into. So libraries are taking care of the needs of these communities that are using them. So the Department of Arts and Culture is focusing on catering for the needs of the people. So we are seeing more and more of technology coming in. Most of public libraries are already having internet access. So e-books can be used, but other communities are not yet having that because the general challenge of the bandwidth, they are struggling with internet, so they still rely on our traditional printed material. But at least if each and every South African can gain access to information, that is more dynamic. I hope, as we remember yesterday being our Human Rights Day, where we emphasize freedom of access to information. It is in the Bill of Rights that each and every person must have access to information also.
Mrs. Segametsi Molawa, she's the president of the Library and Information Association of South Africa. Thank you so much for sharing your insight with us today on the SABC News Desk.